Hello, everybody. This is Jason F. Smith,
And Jennie Stanchfield.
creators of the Shades of Intimacy Intensive, found at jasonfsmith.com. Welcome to today's daily download edition, where the topic is
Loud and clear.
loud and clear. You heard it here first, folks. Okay, sit back, relax, and welcome to the daily download. Okay, Jenny, tell us about loud and clear.
Loud and clear. So I was sitting here this evening, first of all, trying to talk with my mom on the phone. And our dogs were just absolutely losing their minds. Barking and barking and barking and running to the front door and barking. Even our deaf dog, who normally we sadly just kind of ignore because we know she can't actually hear anything. And so I walked to the front windows and I looked out, saw nothing. And I looked, because I thought maybe it's a deer or someone walking their dog. Nothing. So I walk back into the kitchen and they just keep losing their minds. And it got to a point where I'm like, okay, the tone and the intensity with which they are barking, there is something out there. I am missing something. I am absolutely missing something. And so I walk out there again and I'm looking and looking. And finally I'm like, okay, so I get down to their level. I squat down and look out the blinds at their level. And I see this little shadow of a thing skittering along our front porch. So it's dark, right? And I'm like, oh, there's a dog on our front porch. So I walk out and it's this just adorable little puppy. And I coax her off the front porch and she's absolutely terrified. And, we end up finding the owners and we end up taking her home and getting her home safely and all the rest of that.
And put your address and phone number on your dog tags.
Yeah, put your address and phone number on your dog tags.
That's going to come from this.
That
made it very easy.
Very easy, yeah. But what the other tangent was, daily we hear our dogs barking at things. Mm-hmm. I mean, someone walks past the front of our house and they start barking. And to a degree, that's what the universe does to us when something's going on in our lives. At first it's just kind of like, hey, there's something, and then it amplifies and it gets a little bit louder and then it gets a little bit louder. And we just kind of become accustomed to it sometimes. So it could be, a relationship is starting to go south or someone is starting to behave in a certain way that you should kind of raise some flags and maybe make you pause for a second. And what I realized is that, once the dogs really started ramping up and changing the tone and intensity of what they were doing, that's when it was like, okay, I need to look harder. Mm-hmm. Instead of numbing out and just continuing to assume the dogs were being dogs, starting to pay attention, getting down on a different level, looking at it from the dog's perspective, really starting to look at it. When the universe is slapping you upside the head with something, you have to, stop for a second and pay attention.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, it reminds me of the thought of like doubling down, it's like, okay, I'm not listening to you, and I don't care how loud you get. I am going to, now it becomes an ego battle. Right? So your wife, I'm going to use wife in this instance for me, is starts to tell you something, starts to tell you something, starts to tell you something, starts to tell you something. It works with your kids too. They're starting to tell you, they're telling you, and you start to go, I remember, so this is full disclosure, I remember getting to those places kind of mentally, it's like, okay, so it's a game. I don't care the louder you shrill, the tighter I'll lock down and ignore you.
Right. Well, that's what I started doing. The dogs were going off. I started yelling at the dogs. I am yelling at the dogs, telling them what bad dogs they are and to stop barking and that they're losing their minds and they're driving me crazy. And, I was doubling down and yelling at the dogs.
So why is this important?
Because we do this all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Whether it's in your job, your relationship, your connection to, the universe, to, any of it, to your relationship with your body, we're being told all the time, like your body. Let's say I've put on a few pounds and my knees start to hurt. That's the dogs. That's the dogs. but we just ignore it and we make excuses for it. And then next thing we know, like your knees are really starting to hurt or, whatever it is, but we do it all the time.
That's the lesson I'm getting out of this story. I wasn't here for this, but that's the lesson I'm hearing is that, we're being told. The universe is talking. God is talking. Goddess is talking, whatever you want to say. Like the lesson is I'm being told.
Right.
I mean, how often does something bad happen? So straight question, when you don't go, shit, like I was warned, like there's some sense of,
right.
Like once in a while, something will just hit you sideways.
Something, yeah, occasionally.
Occasionally it's just like, but the number of times when I go, oh, geez, I felt it coming, I saw it coming, I was ignoring it. The lesson is that. So how to apply this is that, for me, is to take that space, is just to say, okay, dogs are barking, don't go into my habit, which is bad dog, shut up, just go. And I mean, to give you credit, you did go look.
I did go look.
Yeah, you did. And the universe was gentle with you and said, okay, I'm just going to ratchet up.
The first time
right?
I went and looked, it was more so to prove my point to myself.
See,
that I was right.
That's the
I
difference.
was right in telling the dogs to shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the bullshit in the story, right?
Yeah.
So did you get quiet and go, what's going on?
Right. Well, what happened is, again, once I noticed change in their tone, it went from there could very well be someone just walking their dog out in front of our house, which is a normal occurrence. But their tone changed slightly, their intensity changed slightly. Boo, who's the deaf one, like she really started to get really intense, which she rarely does. So I just knew there was something.
Yeah. And so that's like a blessing. The universe speaks. The lesson I'm here is that it will speak as loud as you need to hear it.
Yeah.
As loud as you need to hear it.
Yeah.
And so there was a dog that needed help, and it said, okay, I want this dog to get back. We met the owner, and she was like in a near panic. Oh, so very well she was praying.
Oh, yeah.
There were prayers being said.
Oh, yeah.
Someone find my baby
Yep.
and bring it home
Yep.
or find it safe. And so the universe went, well, Jenny's not listening. But how often do these moments happen while we're into something else? So you're talking with your mom.
Right.
Right? And so there's moments when in relationship with someone needs help. And if you were just sitting there meditating, you probably would have sat up and slid, glided to the door in perfection. But instead, there was this life, right? Life was interruption. I'm talking to my mom. Maybe my mom was actually saying something important at that moment.
Right.
Yeah. So these are the complexities of the situation that I'm always constantly reminded to, and then ignore it. So I constantly reminded to take more space. And that doesn't mean like I hear the dogs bark, I need 20 minutes of meditation. It just means a breath.
Right. Well, sometimes looking at it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Which is that taking a moment, getting that space.
And isn't there, this is kind of the part I hate, but there's trust in the universe. Like okay, I'll bark louder for you. Mm-hmm. So where are we not hearing? So that's the assignment. Where are you not hearing the universe bark at you?
Right. Yeah, where is the universe skillfully wielding a tool to get us to listen like a dog? Mm-hmm. And we're not listening. Where's that happening in life?
And if you allow it, you can hear it before, the hammer falls and you get laid out. Mm-hmm. So where is the universe barking at you? That's the question.
Right.
Get yourself a piece of paper and a pen and write, or go for a walk, or do a meditation, or maybe do some movement, dance, whatever it takes to get into the moment where you can search through your soul and find the answer to our question. Okay, everybody, you have your assignment, so get after it. This is Jason F. Smith.
And Jennie Stanchfield.
Signing off.